to set the table for the 20th Game 7 in NBA Finals history, how we got here, so to speak. We will spend obviously less time on the very early ones, but if you're a sports history nerd like me, this should be fun. I'll try to go through the uninteresting ones as quickly as possible. First one ever, 1951, Rochester Royals beat the Knicks 79-75. Give you a context for how different the league was back then. Two different guys named Arnie started this basketball game, and the first ever kind of like hard luck star in the NBA, Max Zaslavsky, pardon me, for the Knicks was involved in that game. 1952, the Minneapolis Lakers beat the New York Knicks. That was, if it wasn't already official before, the official arrival of the NBA's first true superstar, George Mikan. Mikan averaged 22 and 18 for the series, and in that Game 7 had 22 points and 19 rebounds. Those same Minneapolis Lakers in 1954 beat the Syracuse Nationals 87-80. That's another Mikan championship, his fifth ring, and the league's first three-peat. And then one last one that is really kind of the BC era of NBA basketball. The 1955 Syracuse Nationals beat the Fort Wayne Pistons 92-91. We don't really have to get into it, but NBA history nerds know this. This might be fun for people who aren't. That game was probably rigged. And I don't mean rigged by the refs. I mean, again, allegedly, possibly, I don't know, who knows. It sure seems like the newspaper writers and the people who covered that game thought Fort Wayne threw the game. Thought they were on the take. And that was at a time when that stuff kind of happened. There's a whole CCNY thing. But so again, those four, you've got the first ever Game 7 with Rochester beating New York. You then have kind of the Mikan era. You then have Dolph Schayes and the Syracuse Nationals beating the Fort Wayne Pistons in a game that could not be played in Fort Wayne's arena because Fort Wayne had rented out the arena and the game might have been thrown. Okay, now, not to modern era, obviously, but all of the next handful of Game 7s involve one main character, Bill Russell and his Boston Celtics. 1957, the Celtics beat the St. Louis Hawks 125-123 in double overtime. Russell's rookie year. It's Russell versus Robert E. Lee Pettit Jr., which is also known as Bullet Bob Pettit. It's an all-time series. It's an all-time game, and it is the beginning of the Celtics dynasty. A Game 7, double overtime, 2-point victory over the guy a lot of people thought was the best player in the league in Bob Pettit. That's 1957. 1960, the Celtics beat the St. Louis Hawks, same Bob Pettit, 122-103. Bill Russell with a nice, smooth 22-point, 35-rebound performance. For the Celtics, that was their third title and second in a row. 2 years later, and this is going to be a theme, the Boston Celtics beat the Los Angeles Lakers in Game 7 of the finals, 110-107. I would love for the 1962 NBA season to get its own 30 for 30. It has some of the craziest stat lines you will ever see. In the 1962 season is bananas. Just for a little context, because of the speed of the game, so to speak, here were the stat lines of the top five, not finals, but MVPs. Number 5, Jerry West. He averaged 31, 8, and 5. Number 4, Elgin Baylor. He averaged 38, 19, and 5. However, he didn't play enough games because he was only able to play like on weekends because he was in the military. Number 3, Oscar's triple-double, 31, 13, and 11. Number 2, Wilt's 50-point per game, 49-minute per game season. And the guy who won MVP, Bill Russell, at at 19 points, 24 rebounds. That was the season. Now to the 1962 NBA Finals, which was the first ever Celtics over Lakers. It goes to overtime. It's 110-107. In that series, Jerry West averaged 31-5. Elgin Baylor averaged 41-8. They're up 3-2. In Game 6, up 3-2, Elgin Baylor scored 61 points and they lost. In Game 7, a Lakers role player, Frank Selby, missed kind of a bunny to win in regulation. The Celtics win in overtime despite West having 35 and Elgin having 41. Bill Russell had a nice, tidy 30-point, 40-rebound game. That was the Celtics' fifth title and their fourth straight. 1966, the Celtics in a Game 7 beat the Lakers 95-93. The Lakers are down 16 entering the fourth. They claw back, come just short. Poor Jerry West had 36-10. Russell had 25-32. That was the Celtics' record that will never be broken. 8th consecutive championship and 9th overall. And then one last time for posterity's sakes, 1969, the Celtics beat the Lakers in a Game 7, 108-106. It is the final game of Bill Russell's career. It is an insane game. Furious fourth quarter comeback that comes up short. For the series, Bill Russell held Wilt Chamberlain to 11 points per game. It was an all-time upset because the Celtics were the 4 seed that year, and that Lakers team was unbelievable. The Lakers owner, Jack Kent Cooke, had put balloons in the rafters to drop when they won the championship. It's the first that which really pissed off Jerry West and made Bill Russell even angrier. Wilt gets dinged up, goes to the bench. They stage a bit of a comeback without him. He's then like, I'm ready to go back in. The coach is like, nope, sit your ass down, Wilt. Don Nelson for the Celtics hits a Haliburton shot. The one against the Knicks. Back rim, up super high in the air, down through. The Celtics win by 2. It's the first road team to win a Game 7. Okay, now we're done with the 50s and 60s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there have only been 10 Game 7s of the finals that have been played. This will be the 11th since the Celtics dynasty. We'll do the 70s ones quickly because this is the period of the NBA I know the least about because there's the 2 leagues, ABA, all of it. But 1970, everybody knows about this game. The Knicks beat the Lakers. The Lakers lost a lot of these Game 7s, 113-99. That is known as the Willis Reed game because Willis Reed had like a torn quad, limps onto the court after missing Game 6, hits the first 2 baskets of the game. What people don't realize is those are the only 2 baskets of the game he made. So how'd they win? Well, Walt Clyde Frazier in a Game 7 of the NBA Finals had 36 points, 7 rebounds, 19 assists. 1974 NBA Finals. The Celtics beat the Milwaukee Bucks and Kareem 102-87. Kareem for the series 33, 12, 5, and 2, and 49 minutes per game. Do the math on that. Pretty unbelievable. It's not enough. The Celtics become the second road team ever to win a Game 7. 1978, Bullets beat the Supersonics. Probably the worst finals MVP decision ever. They gave it to Wes Unseld, who averaged 9 points, 11 rebounds. The story of that is Dennis Johnson, who wasn't the best player on the Sonics, but was important, went 0 for 14 in Game 7. But the Sonics got revenge the next year and won the championship, and they also became the third road team ever to win a Game 7 of the finals. And now we get to ones you guys probably know about. 1984, the Boston Celtics beat the Lakers 111-102 in Game 7 of the finals. Magic had 7 turnovers in that game. They had already started calling him Tragic Johnson, even though he was a 2-time champion leading up to it for turnovers earlier. Larry Bird was outstanding. It was the first Magic Bird finals, and it was the 8th time the Celtics and the Lakers had met in the finals. And the Celtics up to that point were 8-0. And that kind of cemented Bird for a lot of people over Magic, over Kareem as the best player in the league. 1988, Lakers Pistons. Lakers beat the Pistons 108-105. That is on the heels of one of the most famous games in NBA history. Game 6 of those finals, with the Pistons having a chance to close it out and win the championship and deny the Lakers a back-to-back. Isaiah badly sprains his ankle, scores 25 in the third quarter despite that sprained ankle. And then with 10 seconds left, down one, Kareem gets the ball. Foul called on Lambeer on the skyhook, maybe the most controversial foul in NBA history. Kareem makes both. They win game 6, 103-102. And then game 7, because of that sprained ankle, Isaiah is limited, and that's the big game James game. James Worthy, who up to that point in his career had never had a triple-double, in game 7 of the finals, 36 points, 16 rebounds, 10 assists. The Lakers win Magic's 5th title, Kareem's 6th title, and that's the end of the Lakers winning titles until Shaq and Kobe get there. 1994, Rockets beat the Knicks 90-84. The iconic moment of that series is game 6, the Hakeem block on Starks. Down 2 were the Knicks, Starks shooting a 3. Hakeem gets his fingertips on it. In game 7, Hakeem in a rematch, Hakeem Ewing, 1984 NCAA championship that Georgetown won. Hakeem outscores Ewing in every single game, stifles him, holds Ewing to 17. The Rockets get their first of 2 championships. 2005, Spurs Pistons. Spurs beat the Pistons 81-74. That series is probably most known for game 5. Down 2, Spurs ball, Pistons leave Robert Horry open. He hits a 3. They go up 3-2. Then in game 7, Duncan leads a furious third quarter comeback. The Pistons are denied back-to-back championships. Duncan gets his 3rd ring. 2010, Celtics Lakers, an ugly, awesome game. Lakers beat the Celtics 83-79. The Lakers were down 3-2 in the series, blow out the Celtics in game 6. In game 7, one of the oddest games ever, the Lakers have 53 points through 3 quarters, score 30 in the 4th. Think about that. 53 through 3 quarters, score 30 in the 4th. They're trying to, this is the Celtics had won in 08 with their big 3. The Lakers won in 09 once they got Powell. Now these 2 teams are playing. Kobe in that game 7 goes 6 for 24. But is huge on the glass. Ron Artest up 3, less than a minute left, takes an ill-advised 3, but he makes it. Despite that, it's still a 2-point game with 10 seconds left. Sasha Vujacic gets fouled, goes to the line. Calmly hits both free throws. Kobe gets ring number 5. The Celtics' big 3 never come actually close again. And then the 2 LeBron ones. 2013, Heat beat the Spurs 95-88. That's the game after the Ray Allen game. LeBron has 37 and 12, including 5 threes after the Spurs have been daring him to shoot threes all series. Chris Bosh and Ray Allen in that game combined for 0 points. 0 points from Bosh and Ray Allen. So how do the Heat win other than LeBron's 37 and 12? Shane Battier off the bench hit 6 threes. Kind of the iconic image of that game. Down 2, Tim Duncan has a little baby hook and then a tip in after he misses both, slams his fist on center court after the Heat call timeout. After the Heat call timeout, LeBron hits a jumper over Kawhi from 19 feet to go up 4 and win the championship. And then 2016, the 4th and last time a road team has won a game 7. You have arguably the most iconic shot in NBA history by Kyrie Irving. Inarguably the most iconic defensive play in NBA history by LeBron James, the block on Iguodala. LeBron goes 27, 11, and 11 as the Cavs complete a 3-1 comeback to deny the 73-win Warriors the greatest season in NBA history. Those are the 19. We have, if you just look through them, George Mikan becoming the greatest player in the league through game sevens of the finals. Bill Russell becoming the greatest winner in sports history through game sevens, and Jerry West becoming the biggest tough luck loser in sports history through game sevens. We have the iconic Willis Reed game that was actually the Walt Frazier game. We have maybe one of the reasons Kareem left Milwaukee. Does he leave as quickly or as readily if they had won that championship? We have Magic versus Bird. We have Magic versus Isaiah. Ewing versus Hakeem. The Pistons going for a back-to-back while the Spurs trying to create their own version of a dynasty. Kobe and Powell against the Big Three in Boston. LeBron's Heat going for validation of all coming together by winning back-to-back against that Spurs team. And the greatest comeback in NBA history in 2016. That's what Game 7 of the NBA Finals has meant historically. What will the 20th one mean this Sunday night? We'll all find out together, and we'll talk after. What's right?